the heart of the Cold War, as two superpowers waged a silent battle for dominance, a new frontier emerged, one that held no trenches, no gunfire, and no soldiers. This was a battlefield unlike any other, where the weapons were not bombs or tanks, but ideas, dreams, and ambitions. It was the great race to conquer space. On October 4th, 1957, the world stood still in awe as a small metallic sphere, no larger than a beach ball, was launched into orbit. This was just Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite in human history. As it circled the Earth, transmitting a simple but unmistakable radio signal, its beeping sound echoed across the globe, striking fear and admiration in equal measure. But for the Soviets, this was only the first step. As the world adjusted to the reality of satellites orbiting above, Soviet engineers were already planning something far. They set their sights on a planet shrouded in mystery, cloaked in thick yellow clouds, and ravaged by violent storms. A world where temperatures could melt. This was Ovivinus. And it would soon become the target of one of the boldest space missions in history. The first attempts were met with failure. Space was unforgiving, and Venus was a graveyard for any machine not built to withstand its fury. In 1966, Venera 3 became the first human-made object to reach another planet. But before it could transmit any data, it fell silent, lost to the abyss of Venusian hell. It was a bittersweet victory, one that proved humanity could send machines to other worlds, even if they would not survive the journey. Yet, failure was never the end for the Soviet space program. It was merely another step forward. Then in 1975, a new milestone was reached. Venera 9 successfully landed on Venus, enduring its crushing atmosphere long enough to capture and send back Kiev, first ever photograph from the surface of another planet. What it revealed was breathtaking and terrifying. A landscape of shattered rocks under an eerie, dim sky. The world had never seen anything like it before. But the Soviet Union's legacy in space was more than just Venus. While robotic explorers were venturing into the unknown, Soviet space missions were also making history much closer to home. In November 1957, though her journey was tragic, her mission paved the way for human spaceflight. Then, on April 12, 1961, the world watched in wonder as a young Soviet pilot named Yuri Gagarin. As the countdown reached 0, the rocket roared to life, and within minutes, Gagarin had achieved what no human had done before. He had left the Earth. And with that, he became the forever changing our understanding of what was possible. But the Soviet dream didn't stop at Earth's orbit. They had their eyes on even greater prizes. While the Americans were preparing for their historic moon landing, the Soviet Union was running parallel projects that aimed to surpass even that. The lunar program sent probes to explore the moon's surface, collecting samples and mapping its terrain. The Mars program sought to reach the red planet long before it became the obsession of modern space agencies. During the 1970s, the Soviets continued their advancements. They launched a series of orbital space stations, known as I-Salyut, which would later pave the way for the grandest achievement of Soviet space engineering, the Mir space station, the first permanent human outpost in space. This was more than exploration. It was a vision of humanity's future beyond Earth. Yet, as the Cold War neared its end, so too did the golden age of the Soviet space program. The economic and political turmoil of the late 1980s led to drastic budget cuts. Ambitious projects, including plans for Warda permanent moon base and Angel manned mission to Mars, were abandoned. One particularly secretive project, known as Zokaya Zvezda, or War D Watchful Star, was rumored to be a military space station capable of monitoring Earth with unprecedented precision. But with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, such grand plans faded into history. Many of the advancements made by Soviet engineers would later be adopted by modern space programs, shaping the future of spaceflight long after the red banners had fallen. Even though the Soviet Union no longer exists, its legacy in space exploration remains undeniable. Today, Russian space programs continue to build on Soviet technology, and even NASA's greatest achievements owe something to the pioneering spirit of their Cold War rivals. The International Space Station. A testament to global cooperation, and still uses Russian-designed modules, keeping the Soviet vision alive among the stars. But one question lingers. Would we now see new Soviet cities on the moon? Martian colonies, built under the hammer and sickle. Would the space race have accelerated even furthest reaches of the solar system? These are questions we may never answer, but one truth remains. The Soviet Union paved the way for humanity's journey beyond Earth. Their rockets touched the sky, their machines landed on distant worlds, and their vision ignited a fire that still burns in the heart of space exploration today. And though they never reached the stars themselves, they showed the world the way forward.